job because of these leaks and this persona that was created in the press about her, and now we understand why, if these alleged acts are proven to be true.
Takes me back to our last show when we talked about Alicia Lane, and I was saying, put the brakes on. Why is everybody in such a big hurry to act on Alicia Lane? And you know, and here we are, and now all of a sudden this is coming true. You know, everybody needed to stop and think, and all of a sudden we're seeing a whole different perspective.
You know, we talked about whether or not she should have lost her job before the alleged criminal complaint against her was satisfied, and now that's been apparently put on the back shelf.
Right.
She essentially lost her job, perhaps for no real reason.
Right, that's exactly true, and in fact all those criminal charges have been put on what's called like a deferred adjudication, and that's all going to go away in August, provided she stays out of criminal trouble and nothing further happens to her, which is likely nothing is going to happen to her.
I'm not sure she's left her apartment in several months.
I'm betting that nothing further is going to happen.
And not that I blame her. I think I would stay behind closed doors as well.
And now we're seeing, you know, the whole bikini thing was really just her sending a picture to a trusted friend because he asked her to send the picture, and, you know, because he wanted to identify who else was in the picture. You know, the whole Dr. Phil show was the network saying, we want you to do the Dr. Phil show, do it because we want you to do it. She's saying, please don't show it. You know, we're seeing a whole different side, the other side of the story is now coming out.
You know, Tim, that's the interesting thing in this and any other case like it, is there's more to the story than what we read on the front page of the tabloid newspapers or in the newspaper.
There certainly is, but I must quarrel. I think what Robin said is, I think Alicia Lane did a pretty fine job of destroying her own career. And I don't think that she's being vindicated just because a criminal complaint might be dropped or there might not be some substance to that. Let's remember that, you know, being an anchor person is a privilege. And there's an expectation that you're going to really kind of be above the gossip pages. And she was really front and center. Now, why she was there is a different issue, and you can quarrel with that all you want, but the bottom line is, I think as the station said, she became the news item. And you really can't have somebody who is reporting legitimate news at the 6 p.m. and the 11 p.m. news time slots, who's really kind of a laughing stock where people are watching and saying, did you hear about her the other night when she was out 2 o'clock in the morning drunk? So I'm not really going to be one to quickly say that just because this guy's run into some trouble, and I'm not trying to excuse him at all, but just because you ran into trouble, it doesn't really, you know, clean up her record completely.
That should have never become the news, Tim, and it became the news because somebody violated the laws. And CBS, technically, under some corporate negligence theory, which is probably going to be proven through their own software monitoring devices, which thankfully helped the FBI make their case, you know, they're probably going to lose on a corporate negligence theory. But and the court, they're going to lose, and this stuff never should have come out. You know, the right to privacy, the right to privacy is the right to keep personal information out of the public eye.
I've got to disagree. I've been in media a long time, and I've got to disagree because if Alicia Lane is out there drinking and allegedly hitting police officers or acting inappropriately,
but she did it.
Well, she's acting inappropriately, and she's done it time and time again. She has got to be aware, and I agree with Tim, she's got to be aware that there are moral clauses. You are, as Tim said, an anchor. It is a privilege to serve there. You're supposed to have credibility. You are not supposed to go out and act like a wild woman.
Hey, somebody said to me today, she reads the news. So she sits there and she reads the news. Why can't she wear bikinis and send pictures to married men? What's so bad about that? She can still read the news to me.
Unfortunately, that is
somebody
the state of
said that. It doesn't bother me if she does that.
Let me ask you something, Robin.
Let's not forget, too.
Well, my question is, so Robin, would you like it if some other woman was, I don't know if you're married, but would you like it if they were sending scantily clad pictures to your husband?
She had a bikini
Would you like that?
Come on now. She had
would you like that?
But let's be realistic. I mean, come on. You go to the Jersey Shore for a day and you see plenty of bikini shots. It's really not that shocking to the conscience.
Not shocking.
But Tim, I guess the question is, if the wife of the man who received the bikini shot made it news, that's one thing. If a coworker makes it news, allegedly, because he's trying to undermine her and eventually perhaps lead to what happened, you got to take it with a different grain of salt, don't you think?
Well, Lynn, you do it from a legal perspective. So if you want to split hairs from a legal perspective, I mean, you know, Robin is the expert in terms of employment law. I'm just talking about the fact that this woman has a reputation. I don't care. You can't say legally we have to respect her. Legally, we have to overlook bad behavior.
Okay.
At the end of the day is, does a person watching that 6 p.m. news or 11 p.m. news look and say, this woman is silly. She's an embarrassment. And if that's the case, the station has a right to say, look, we decided to part ways with you. Now, Robin can make the case, and
I got to take a break.
She's more
sorry to interrupt,
in that area of the law than I am.
The thing is here, we're talking about Alicia, but it's all about Larry tonight. So if you want to join in on that, and you want to tell us what you think, including what kind of punishment you think might be appropriate, you can go ahead and give us a call. Telephone lines are exploding, so we're going to come back to that as quickly as we can. If you can't get through, take the web poll. We're asking what should happen to him, giving you a couple of different choices. Stick around there because Kevin Walsh is coming back. He got some interesting responses from around the region when he was on the streets today. Stay with us.
It has to be very embarrassing for him, having the job that he does. But I really don't know what should be done. Maybe at least probation.
Prying through other people's emails, that's their personal business. But if you're doing it for your own personal gain, then yeah, you should have both probation and jail time.
Probably just fined. I mean, he's definitely not the first person I've seen go into someone else's email.
Transportation for It's Your Call guests provided by Preferred Car and Limousine.